Two thieves preying on tourists captured. And airport immigration officers arrested for extortion. Good news, actually, for tourists and foreigners living here in Bali, living or visiting here in Bali. And so, stay tuned for details. Selamat siang. Welcome to the latest news from Bali and Indonesia. This is November 18th, 2023. Wow, the month is going fast. And my name is Bruce. And what is the weather like today? Oh, still hot. 32.4 degrees Celsius, 71% humidity. Wind speed is 6.7 kilometers per hour. And we've had a couple of days of rain. Well, I wouldn't say a couple of days of rain. We've had a couple of half hours of rain. And, well, cloudy, but, yeah, just not raining. A little bit. And so, seems like we're on the verge of the rainy season. Let's hope so. And we'll just have to wait and see about that. But the good news is there have not been lots of reports of fires going on around the island like there were not too long ago, last month. And so that's something good. And less stories about police and other authorities taking water to villages, although there have been a few stories about that still in the more remote areas. Okay, let's get right into the first story. A duo of snatchers, aka street robbers who often operate in the Kuta area, were arrested by the Kuta police on Monday the 13th at 2300 Wita time. Both of them received, yes, hot lead. You can see in the photo. They got shot. These policemen are pretty good shots if they can hit these guys when they're running, get them in the leg. Well, they got the hot lead because they resisted when they were ambushed by the officers. According to the Denpasar police chief, during a press conference, he said that the two suspects were targeting foreign tourists. And they've acted many times in the tourist area, in Kuta particularly, but also in the greater Badung area. The arrest of the two suspects, both from Karangasem, came after police received reports from foreign nationals about being robbed. Losses suffered by the two tourists that reported them, one from Australia, one from Japan, were up in the tens of millions of rupiahs. The mugging incidents experienced by the victims occurred at different times and in different locations. The Australian was snatched on Jalan Kartika Plaza, and at that time he was standing on the side of the road waiting for a taxi with 8 of his friends after having dinner at one of the restaurants there. Suddenly, the suspects arrived on a motorbike and stopped near the victim. Immediately, one of the men pulled a gold necklace from his neck, and the necklace was apparently worth around 45 million rupiahs, and then they took off. 9 days later, the two suspects acted again on Jalan Bunisari in Kuta. This time, they managed to forcefully seize the Japanese tourist sling bag. He was walking along the side of the road at that time. In the bag was a wallet, credit cards, an iPhone, cell phone batteries, and 1.6 million rupiah in cash. After getting these reports, the police carried out an investigation. And they saw the two suspects passing along Jalan Kartika Plaza, and they followed the two to Jalan Raya Seminyak. There, the officers ambushed them, and well, when they tried to run away, they shot them in the legs. The two suspects admitted to the police that they carried out muggings in 2 locations, these muggings. They also said they've acted in 11 other locations in the area. The police chief said, "I'm giving a warning to perpetrators who are still roaming around out there. Do not act in the jurisdiction of Denpasar police. I will not hesitate to take firm action." The two thieves may receive a sentence up to 7 years in prison. So good news, at least a couple of bad guys off the street, and thanks to the Bali police for their good work. Okay, and some more good news for tourists. Some corruption has been stopped. Bali Prosecutor's Office arrests 5 immigration officers. Wow. Head of Bali Regional Office of the Ministry of Law and Human Rights, Romy Yudianto, revealed that the fast-track policy was adopted to overcome long immigration queues at Ngurah Airport. The fast-track policy is for special people, VIPs, VVIPs, elderly people, people with small children, people that have some kind of physical disability that can rush them through. It's supposed to be free, but apparently some of the immigration officials were charging anywhere between 100,000 and 250,000 rupiah to get through. During the arrest of the alleged criminals, the police also seized 100 million rupiah. Assistant for Special Crimes at the Bali Prosecutor's Office said that the arrest began with information from the public regarding the misuse of the fast-track facilities at Ngurah Airport. The Special Investigation Team of the Bali Prosecutor's Office went to the airport this past Tuesday in the evening, 10 o'clock, and they arrested 5 officers who were on guard, were working on duty at that, and one of them is the head of that section. Apparently, there have been confessions from 5 officers, and money anywhere from 100 to 200 million per month. Apart from damaging Indonesia's image amidst the government's efforts to improve the investment climate in the country, the practice at Ngurah Airport could, of course, damage public services related to the principles of fair treatment and opportunity. And so the suspects will be detained in prison for the next 20 days while they get ready to decide what they're going to do here, I guess, and get ready to prosecute them. According to the Bali Provincial Office of Law and Human Rights, he said that they have not received any more information about the detention of the officers, and he said, we're collecting information related to this, so please be patient. We'll let you know what's happening in a while. And additionally, he said, several auto gates have been installed and are ready to be operated in the near future to speed up service. And so, yeah, and if you're not dealing with people, well, you might not be paying any money. Pak Romi said that these auto gates will help be a solution to the problem of long lines and also of officers asking for money for things that they should not. And so good news on that front. And what about dengue and mosquitoes? You know, I've talked about this issue a number of times over the last few months about these engineered mosquitoes, that the Wolbachia mosquito, and that they were released. They've been released here already in Buleleng and in Jogja for, I guess, a while, and in other places as well. There has been apparently quite a bit of public distrust of letting millions of mosquitoes go, and so looks like it's been put to a halt for a while. There are people who are against it. The acting governor of Bali asked that the spread of the Wolbachia mosquitoes be postponed. So the acting governor of Bali said that this is a postponement, not a rejection. He said we need more time to socialize the situation with releasing these Wolbachia mosquitoes. He said the community is resisting this, parts of the community are resisting this, and he does not want the community to be divided into pros and cons. Meanwhile, the regional secretary of Bali province, Dewi Made Indra, said that there has not been a comprehensive study of the Wolbachia methods regarding the public's questions about the impact caused by the spread of these millions of mosquitoes. In fact, according to him, it's a good intention to let this go in order to reduce cases of dengue, but he said we have to make sure that this is not going to cause other diseases. He said this is an important question and we need to look at this scientifically. We don't need to debate things. We need to look at studies. The application of Wolbachia has been carried out in other areas, as I said, in Jogja, and claimed that it's been successful in Jogja, as I mentioned several months ago, in reducing the number of dengue cases. And one of the most prominent people who has criticized this method is the former Minister of Health, Siti Fadila Supari, who questioned the spread of millions of mosquitoes because the impact is not yet known. So, little wait on that, and, well, we've got plenty of mosquitoes around my house. Fortunately, I've not gotten dengue again. Okay, and let's look at a little tourist controversy. Entering Sekumpul Waterfall pays 300,000 rupiah. Minister of Tourism and Creative Economy, Sandiaga, don't get beaten or he'll give up. Wow, what a translation is that? I should have done that one myself. What does he mean here? He means don't take advantage of the tourists. There have been viral complaints on social media about tourists visiting the Sekumpul Waterfall here in Bulaling being told that they have to pay an entrance ticket of up to 300,000 rupees. Now, that's not actually an entrance ticket, it's a tour ticket. And so apparently there have been 3 gates set up illegal where people manning the gates are telling people, no, you can't come in here unless you get a tour. And so people said, no, I don't want a tour. I just want to pay for the ticket price, which is, I think, 20,000 rupiah. And it's, no, you can't do it. And so domestic tourists complained, and this has gone viral, of course. The government has come in to check on things. They've shut down the 3 illegal gates, desks, whatever you want to call them. And if you want a tour, you can get one, but it is not mandatory. If you want to go to the waterfalls, the tour is not mandatory. You do have to pay the 20,000 rupiah entrance fee. If you want a guide, you can get a guide. If you don't want a guide, you don't need one. And like with a lot of things here, the Minister of Tourism, Pak Sandiaga Uno, said, hey, this is going to ruin Bali's reputation if it looks like we're forcing tourists to pay for things that they don't want and they don't actually need. And we've got to think about what we're doing. According to locals here, well, there's some competition between different villages to get tourists and get the money. And so that is one of the reasons for this 300,000 rupiah entrance ticket or tour ticket. And Pak Sandiaga said, look, if you do this, if you hit people up with these fees, especially if they didn't expect it, and they either pay it grudgingly or they don't pay it and they leave, people are going to stop coming. And so you need to think about things in the long term. And in addition to Pak Sandiaga, who was in Pemutaran for a festival there, Pak Dodi from the Bali Tourism Office, the head of Bali Tourism, or Bulaling Tourism Office, said he is out, got people out onto these streets or in the villages and checking on things. And he said, we're going to find out a scheme, the best scheme to do. And his advice was pretty much the same as the Minister of Tourism. Don't get greedy. Think about the long term. Okay, enough for that. And what about non-cash payments, right? Minister of Public Works and Public Housing, PUPR, Basuki, said the trials of the multi-lane free-flow non-cash toll transaction system, whoa, that's a mouthful, will be carried out for the first time on the Bali Mandara toll road in the second week of December 2023, coming up. The ministry is conducting a trial, and then they will evaluate it, and if it's successful, then the MLFF will be expanded to other areas. They will go into Java, for example, into the cities, and expand it there. The minister said, I remind you that the transition from cash payments to non-cash payments via e-toll card has its challenges. Likewise, for the transition from the e-toll card tapping to the MLFF system. He continued, there's a change in attitude and discipline from toll road users. During the transition and trial practice, the ministry will continue to operate bars or barriers at the toll gate in order to prevent losses, that is, people just driving through. He said, we'll use barriers first, and then when vehicle registration data improves, we will remove the barriers. He said, we want to prevent loss, and we want to speed up the action, and so the e-payments apparently is going to do that. The Bali Mandara toll road was chosen as the initial trial location because the toll road is limited in scale, so controlled trials can be carried out much easier. The MLFF system uses global navigation satellite system GNSS technology and carries out transactions via the Contactless application, which is integrated with ERI, electronic registration and identification for vehicle ownership. One of the benefits of the presence of this MLFF transaction system is the efficiency of operating costs and minimizing vehicle fuel use. Oh, okay. So if you're going to be on Bali Bandara Toll Road mid-December, you can use your e-payments. I don't know if they're going to be actually collecting money as well, but we have to see how that works out. Getting more and more, it seems like, to be cashless economies in lots of places. And I use electronic banking and other things in the internet malls, but cash, cash, cash. I don't know, somehow I feel safer. If I've got it in my hands, I know it's here. If it's out there in the Ethernet, I don't know. Makes me think. Okay, and one more trial for electronic money. 1 week of trial use of electronic money cards at Ngurah Airport doubles. The use of electronic money cards for vehicle parking at the airport is starting to show improvement after a 1 week trial last week. The airport management noticed that before the trial was implemented, the use of electronic money cards for parking transactions for four-wheel vehicles or more was on average less than 20% per day. As of last Wednesday, a couple of days ago, or a week since the trial was implemented, an average of 41% of service users have switched to using electronic money cards to pay for parking. Daily acting general manager of the airport, AirAsia, explained that this was in line with what was expected. The trial is the right time to analyze how the public will accept this non-cash payment parking system. He added that although the non-cash payment policy has actually been running since 2021, well, okay, I didn't know that, its implementation is still not complete. This means we still accept cash payments, he said. However, as of December 1st, 2023, the entire process from entering to leaving will be carried out by service users independently by attaching an electronic card without any parking tickets. AirAsia appealed to airport service users who have not carried out non-cash parking transactions to prepare an electronic money card and ensure that there's sufficient balance available for transactions. The electronic money cards that can currently be used to pay for parking are e-money from Bank Mandiri, Brizzy from Bank BRE, Tap Cash from BNE, and Flaz from BCA. This electronic money card can be purchased and topped up at bank offices and mini markets. Apart from that, BCA, BRE, BNE, and Bank Mandiri, electronic money cards are available and can be purchased through officers at the entrance and exit of the airport. And so the use of this non-cash transactions is in line with what the government wants to do in terms of developing digitalization throughout the economy and reducing paper construction so that services are more environmentally friendly. And finally, AirAsia to open Bali-NTT domestic route in December. AirAsia will open up domestic routes beginning December 16th. The Bali-NTT route will serve 3 flights a week on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, and it will open the route with a special price of 1.5 million rupiah for one trip. According to Pak Agen from AirAsia, he said this new route will create an opportunity for foreign tourists and Kupang residents to travel through Denpasar, Bali and extend their trips to various domestic and international destinations such as Surabaya, Jakarta, Kuala Lumpur, Singapore, Bangkok, and Perth. This route also opens Kupang to various sources of foreign tourist markets such as Australia, Malaysia, Singapore, and Thailand. Kupang is the gateway to all areas in NTT, especially Sabu Island, Timor Island, Alor, Sumba, and Flores. This route should help boost tourism and the economy of the regions. Additionally, Kupang is a promising tourism potential, tourism potential, both for domestic and international tourists. Kupang has many tourist attractions consisting of marine, nature, culture, and historical destinations. AirAsia is committed to connecting tourists with their chosen cities by offering flight choices to various interesting destinations. And I've flown AirAsia a number of times, and I like it. It's cheap. If you're going a short distance, yeah, who cares, right? Okay, that is about it for today. Thanks for viewing. Be kind to someone today. Stay safe, and I will see you next time.